Hey y'all, welcome to the Honesty Circle. It is me, your host, Sierra Elise, and I hope you're taking care of not only your spiritual and mental health, but I hope you're taking care of your emotional and physical health so you can be your best self this week. Today's episode is going to be talking about making self-care into a lifestyle. So let's start off by defining what self-care is. Oftentimes we see people doing a face mask and they think that self-care stops there. However, it goes deeper than that. Self-care, by my definition, is intentional and thoughtful acts of pouring into yourself. I want to remind you that self-care is not selfish. It is preparing yourself to accomplish things that are required of you. Many people, when they are stressed out or busy, they stop taking care of themselves, and that blocks them from being the best self that they could be when trying to accomplish the different tasks that are on their schedule. And when talking about self-care, it's important to know the levels of self-care or the areas of self-care. So you have physical, mental and emotional, and spiritual. Physical is taking care of both the inside and the outside of the body. That means getting a good night's rest, eating 2 to 3 meals a day. That means drinking 64 ounces of water minimum per day, controlling your breathing in moments of anxiety, and even exercising. Now, there are way more ways in which you can practice physical self-care, but those are just a few that I wanted to pinpoint and which I don't think people always think about or consider as self-care. The next level of self-care is mental and emotional, and that talks about things of journaling, positive self-talk, working through your emotions, and affirmations. And so one that I personally love is journaling. It allows me to get out all the things that I'm thinking, keep track of events and how they've affected me, and also a nice release in getting everything out. I also want to emphasize the importance of positive self-talk, because that is allowing yourself to not repeat the falsehoods, but it reminds you to speak on what's true and not speaking from a place of fears and doubts. In Philippians 4:8, it says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think of these things." This scripture is important because it's a reminder to not dwell on the lies that you're telling yourself or the lies that are around you, but to think on the things that are true and the facts of whatever is going on in your life. So this leads us right into the next level of self-care, which is spiritual, and that includes praying, forgiving, worship time, and meditation. One that I want to highlight is forgiving, because that's not only forgiving other people, but it's also forgiving yourself, and not being so hard on yourself when you make those mistakes. Now that we've gotten to the what of self-care, I think it's also important to know about how to incorporate self-care. This is where the intentionality piece comes in, because you have to be intentional into scheduling and making sure that you do the things that you know you should do. And with scheduling, you can schedule that daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly. And so daily, that means doing it every day. And that goes with getting good night's rest, eating, drinking water, and anything else that you think you need to do daily to continue to feed that part of yourself. Personally, I try to get a good night's rest, drink water, eat, and do those things daily. But I also like to incorporate meditating, praying, and worship time daily. So it doesn't really matter what type of self-care it comes from, whether that's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, just being whatever part of yourself that is in need daily. The next level would be weekly. And personally, I like to journal weekly, even if I think that I need more that week. Bare minimum is weekly, to be able to do weekly check-ins. And weekly check-ins just come with assessing my mood, feelings, emotions, and thoughts that have come up in that past week. Since monthly is less often, I like to incorporate breaks into my monthly self-care. And in that break, I probably don't have work, I don't have any assignments due. It's just going to be me taking care of myself. Even if I don't have the whole day, it's going to be a part of the day. Just something in which it's all focused on me putting energy back into myself. And that obviously looks different for everybody. I personally get my nails done because I like to be pampered. And I also might get a massage. And so that for me is a place of calm, decompressing. I think about what went on this month and just kind of erase it all, or not even erase, but just process and think through it all. Whatever you think is allowing yourself to put energy back into yourself on a larger scale than just things that you do on a daily or weekly basis. And that doesn't always mean spend money, because some people don't like to spend money. It just means all the energy that you've been putting out to other people, it's returning yourself that favor and putting it into yourself so that you can come out and be complete and be whole. Because if you're not going to take care of yourself, then who is? I also want to share how to know like what areas or what things need to be cared for. One tip I have is to pray and ask God to reveal what areas you aren't putting enough care to. When I'm not feeling right, I really don't know what it is specifically, and just going to God and asking Him to reveal those things to you, I promise you, He will do just that and He will reveal it. Another thing you can do is listen to your body. So one thing for me I know is I get headaches when I don't drink enough water, or I need to drink some more water. So as soon as I feel a headache, I'm like, oh, boom, let me go drink some water. And if water's not doing it, then maybe I need to eat. And when the headache goes away, that clearly saying that my body was in need of something, I gave it to it, and now the problem is solved. And so listening to your body and giving it the things that it's longing for, asking for, are very important. It's not just important for your physical body, but it's also important for the other areas such as mental and spiritual. The last tip I have is to set goals and write out the actual plan to reach those goals. I wrote out my night routine, which incorporated me praying, meditating, and reading the Bible. And now that has become a habit of mine because I just wrote it out, and each day I would look at that list in my room and I would just follow it. And now I don't even have to look at the list because it's just my natural instinct and to just do. So I challenge you to look inward and examine yourself, examine your body, and figure out what areas you aren't putting enough care towards. And then once you figure out what area that is, start putting the energy and that care to that area and watch how things start to change. C's 2 cents for this week is one of my personal favorite shows, New Girl. It's on Netflix, and it's about a girl who rooms with these random 3 guys, and it just gives me a good little laugh after a busy week or a stressful week. So I think you should go watch, or not, but that's just my 2 cents. That's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you liked anything that you heard, be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and you can also follow us on Instagram at The Honesty Circle with the _ at the end to stay updated on Circle news. Thanks again so much for listening, and go conquer your week.